as I know I want it to be landscape oriented and not portrait. Once my canvas is ready, I create a new layer to start drawing on, and I see if I like the color and brush size before beginning with the very rough sketch. This is only to figure out the placement of where I want everything to go, so I'm not aiming for it to be pretty just yet. What I do already keep in mind is the depth of the drawing, so I've used a thicker brush to draw everything that is in the foreground, a slightly thinner brush for what is to go in the middle area, and eventually an even thinner brush to draw what is in the background. Coming up with a concept can either be really easy or not at all. Occasionally an idea just hits you, other times you can sit for hours staring at a blank canvas and come up with nothing. In this case, I knew I wanted to draw an archer after a conversation I had with my roommates, and so I played around with several ideas. I also knew that I wanted to play around with depth, character design, and some kind of pretty environment. Keeping all those elements in mind, I ended up with the idea of an archer unaware they are being watched in a grand forest-like area. I make the trees stand out by giving them a fill color to help further with the depth on a separate layer, using a thick round brush, same color blue, but the opacity set between 30 and 40%. I placed it on a separate layer from the lines so that I could lower the opacity on the layer itself so the fill is more transparent. Once that's done, I draw some stick figures into the environment with a rough idea as to how they'll be positioned. Moving on to character design. Because we will be customizing 3D models in Poser, we need to figure out what the characters will look like before entering that program. I have created a character sheet that has a sketch of a generic female body and that of a generic male body. It's just an outline to build on top of. In this case, we have an archer that I think travels quite a bit, eats more out of necessity rather than luxury, so I would imagine him to be fit and relatively athletic. Because he is an archer and is far ranged in battle-like situations, the muscles can be toned rather than excessively defined. That would be why I chose an average size body outline